I was stuck at the same English level for years. I thought I'd never get better, but turns out I was completely wrong about how improvement actually works. If you feel like your English has hit a wall, like you're using the same vocabulary and sentence structures all the time, like you're not making progress anymore, this video is for you. Today I'm breaking down how to go from intermediate level to advanced level or even a near native level. I'm splitting this video into 3 different parts. First, what is actually happening when you feel stuck? Second, the mindset shift you need to make. And third, I will give you some specific methods that helped me break through and maybe they can help you. So first, what's actually going on when you feel stuck? There's actually a term for this. It's called interlanguage. Basically, that's a kind of stage between a native level and a beginner level. You can handle everyday conversations just fine, but the moment the topic gets deeper or you are in a different environment, you can't find the right words, your sentences feel clumsy. You know what you want to say, but it doesn't come out right. Every language learner goes through this. So don't panic, you're not broken and you are not stuck forever, but you do need to change your approach. So, how to change? Let's talk about mindset. First thing you need to understand is that language learning has diminishing returns. What I mean is the better you get, the harder it feels to improve. When you're a beginner, everything is new for you. You can learn 10 words and suddenly you can order food for yourself. That feels amazing, right? But at intermediate level, your grammar is solid, your vocabulary is decent, your sentences make sense, so progress feels invisible actually at this stage. It is there, but it's slower and harder to notice. And here's the other thing. Most of us don't live in an English environment. When you are traveling in a foreign country, you pick up language naturally because you need to survive, right? Your brain is forced to adapt. But right now, you don't have that pressure to survive. You can go days, weeks without needing to speak English, so your brain doesn't prioritize this task. This isn't your fault. It's just the reality of learning any kind of language without immersion. So, how can we actually make breakthroughs? Here are some methods, practical methods. First, talk about deeper topics. This is a huge one because most intermediate learners stay comfortable. They talk about their day, their hobbies, what they ate for lunch, and that's fine, but it won't push you forward. Here's what I want you to do. Be a philosopher, talking about abstract ideas, existential questions and emotions you can't easily name. Let's say I want to discuss this topic. Why do modern people struggle with finding meaning in their work? Now, in my native language, I actually could talk about this for 10 minutes, but in English, I immediately hit walls. How do I say 存在感 in English? What about 内卷? How do native speakers structure arguments about this topic? This is exactly where I started using AI's phone call practice feature. I just open the app, select make a phone call mode, and I can literally have a voice conversation with AI chat about this exact topic.
Their values, it can feel empty. It's like running on a treadmill. You're moving, but not going anywhere meaningful. Have you thought about what aspects of work might bring you meaning?
The AI responses naturally asks for follow-up questions, and here's the key. When I don't know how to express something, I can ask it right in the middle of the conversation. For example, I want to say, I think many people lack a sense of purpose at work because... And if I get stuck, I quickly ask, how to express being forced to compete endlessly in English, naturally and native-like. And suddenly I have multiple ways to express the same idea. This way, you are forcing yourself to think in English at a deeper level, but you have the support to fill in the gaps as you go. So just stop staying in your comfort zone, talk about things that matter to you actually. Things you have strong opinions about, topics that make you think, because that's when you are forced to expand your vocabulary, structure complex sentences, and express nuanced emotions. And the second method is stop accepting good enough. Here's the brutal truth. Good enough keeps you intermediate forever. You understand roughly, you can say things kind of correctly, you get a general idea of a podcast, but that's the trap. Here's what actually works. Pick one video or podcast, close your eyes and listen without the subtitles to a single sentence. Pause it, now repeat that sentence out loud. Just say it again from memory. This is called retelling. Instead of just listening, you are actively transform what you hear into what you can actually say by yourself. I use this method when learning Dutch. Every week, I pick 2 or 3 videos and break them down sentence by sentence. I pay attention to how they connect words, how they structure thoughts, and I will talk about the topic I watched with my Dutch teacher and try my best to use some of the expressions in that video. And method number 3 is important. Think about nuanced difference between languages. Most people learn passively. They listen, nod along, maybe understand 80% and move on. But don't do that. Whenever you hear a sentence that confuses you, even slightly, just stop and ask yourself, why couldn't I understand that quickly? Why? Last time I was listening to a podcast and heard, contentment means the satisfaction with the way one's life is going. I can understood it, but I couldn't have said it that way myself because the sentence order and the way that words are put together is so different than I do in my native language. But that is what builds fluency and native-like expressions. So whenever something feels off, don't just let it pass. Deconstruct it. Figure out why it sounds natural to native speaker, but foreign to you. That's active learning.